Ajira. A very good morning to our expert panel members joining from Japan and Sri Lanka, and the esteemed participants from the Sri Lanka tech industry. So it is with great pleasure I welcome all of you to this pivotal webinar focusing on Japanese market, particularly within the context of Sri Lankan IT industry. Today marks the commencement of an exciting journey towards fostering collaboration and leveraging opportunity for growth and innovation. First, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, for their unwavering support and partnership in proposing a comprehensive 2-year technical assistance cooperation program aimed at empowering the IT companies in Sri Lanka to EDB. So it is through such collaborative efforts that we can realize the full potential of our industries and contribute to the advancement of our respective economies. So Sri Lanka, with its escalating IT sector, stands poised to capitalize on emerging opportunities, particularly in the Japanese market, for its robust demand for cutting-edge solutions and services. As we delve into the particulars of market development, you all may be well aware of that EDB has supported during the past 9 years for companies to go to the Japanese market, and around 45 companies we had explored in the Japanese market to excavate the potential opportunities in Tokyo and in Osaka. And we have identified the need of a bridge person to grab the real demand in the Japanese market and prepare the best talent for a long-term collaboration. So in that context, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, which is JICA, came into the support of EDB. So in 2021, actually a group of consultants was assigned to conduct a survey on the IT market potential of Sri Lanka, and upon their recommendations, we were fortunate to receive this 2-year technical assistance from JICA. So I'd like to thank JICA on this very fortunate opportunity that we got. Japan, as renowned for its technological prowess and innovation-driven economy, presents countless possibilities for the Sri Lankan IT companies. So leveraging from Japan's advanced infrastructure to tapping into its diverse consumer base, the potential for growth and collaboration is limitless. So however, navigating the complexities of the Japanese market requires strategic insights, then cultural understanding and tailored approaches. So in this vein, we proposed this 2-year technical assistance program with JICA will be of, I think, paramount importance. It is designed to provide comprehensive support and guidance to Sri Lankan IT companies, equipping them with the necessary tools and knowledge to thrive in the Japanese market, from market research and business development to cultural sensitization and networking opportunities, etc. The program aims to foster a conducive environment for success. So if I may say the key objectives of this technical assistance program, it's as follows. One is market insight and research, that is providing in-depth analysis and insights into the Japanese market landscape, including consumer behavior, trends, and competitive dynamics. Then as number 2, capacity building, enhancing the capabilities of Sri Lankan IT companies through targeted training programs, workshops, and mentoring initiatives. Then as number 3, business localization, assisting companies in adapting their products, services, and strategies to meet the specific needs and preferences of the Japanese market. And number 4, and the final one, is networking and collaboration. And that is facilitating meaningful connections and partnerships between Sri Lankan IT companies and the Japanese counterparts, fostering mutually beneficial relationships. So those were the main objectives that we are looking at. And I think it is important to highlight that the success of this program hinges on collaborative efforts of and active participation of all stakeholders. because without your support, the companies that were connected today, we cannot take this journey forward. And we want your full commitment once we start this program. And by working hand in hand, we can overcome the challenges, capitalize on opportunities, and chart a course towards a sustainable and a prosperous growth. If I just give a glimpse of this project, we will be publicizing an advertisement in around mid-March, calling for applications for interested companies to apply. And our target is to onboard about 30 companies through a rigorous selection process. And the 30 companies will be provided with one-on-one consultancy on their product or service market development lifecycle, and also on developing their marketing material to suit the Japanese market. That is the project. So today's webinar is an eye-opener. This is for anyone who is interested in the Japanese, entering into the Japanese market can listen to this. You can ask questions at the Q&A session. There'll be maybe a feedback form at the end, and we would like you to give your feedback on that. And there are like expert panel members from Japan as well as Sri Lanka who would just give you more insights to the program plus on the Japanese market. So I would like all of you to be on board and wait till this will go for about 3 hours that we are targeted. So stay during the 3 hours, and I hope it will not be a waste of your time. And thank you once again for your presence and commitment. So let us move forward together towards new horizons of innovation and excellence. So please feel free to ask any questions, as I said, during the Q&A time. And arigatoi gozaimasu. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Indomini. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Yamada Tetsuya, the Chief Representative from JICA Sri Lanka office. Yamada-san, over to you.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. My name is Tetsuya Yamada, Chief Representative of JICA Sri Lanka office. Subaru-desanak, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us for this Japan market awareness webinar today. Sri Lanka has been developing as a destination for global companies to outsource their ICT processes. The Sri Lankan government has also been promoting IT infrastructure and industry, and has promoted the expansion of ICT service business overseas, spearheaded by EDB and industrial group such as Slascom. Given its great advantages of many young talents in English language proficiency coupled with technological skills, Sri Lankan enterprises are equipped with capabilities to develop new solutions utilizing cutting-edge technologies such as AI, IoT, blockchain, etc., at the cost of about 30% of Japan. I think doing businesses in IT BPO sector in Japan, it's important to look at and understand the situation in Japan and the needs of the society of Japan. For example, many SMEs in Japan have problems such as a shortage of IT engineers and high development cost. Our society is rapidly aging and the population is actually reducing. So in order to make up for the aging and reducing population, I think we need to enhance the efficiency by way of introducing IT and BPO technologies. In a joint statement issued after a Japan-Sri Lanka summit meeting in 2014, both governments identified the potential of collaborations for ICT sector. Hence, EDB analyzed the potential of Japanese ICT market and initiated some activities to explore the opportunities. Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications projected the sector performance to be $2. side in fact findings and organizing the event. As a result of their efforts, some Sri Lankan ICT companies such as Essential Solutions and Epic Technology have already set up Japanese subsidiaries or other forms of business presence in Japan. And the reputation of Sri Lankan ICT companies in Japan is slowly but steadily improving as reliable business partners. However, Sri Lanka is still largely considered as just another option for IT outsourcing destinations, and it lacks clear branding of ICT solution capabilities to differentiate from other competing countries. Sri Lanka has excellent technology, which the Japanese market needs, but has not been able to make significant inroads into the Japanese market yet. Having this situation, JICA and EDB have started a project called Support for Promoting of ICT BPM Industry towards Japanese Market from this January, for the purpose of increasing awareness of Sri Lankan companies in Japanese market and to enhance the ICT BPM business networks between Sri Lanka and Japan. Through this project, JICA is fully committed to helping the Sri Lankan government and the private companies understand the needs and business environment of Japanese ICT BPM industry and to make Japanese side aware of Sri Lankan ICT BPM industry's strong points and advantages. Today is the first seminar for Sri Lankan ICT industry on Japanese market entry under this project. We hope today's participants get some ideas on how to reach to the Japanese market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yamada-san. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Yoichi Kogure, Deputy Chief Advisor of the JICA expert team. Kogure-san will take you through the opportunities and challenges in the Japanese market in the next 1 hour period. So any question and answer you can raise after this webinar session, after all speeches. So over to you, Kogure-san.
Okay, thank you very much, Kojira-san. So I will share my presentation. I hope everybody can see it now.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So let me start my presentation. I will So this is the agenda of my presentation. I will cover around 6 topics in my presentation. So starting from the project of this JICA project, actually this JICA project has a wider or bigger scope or to cover more countries in the world to attract the ICT industries in various countries to promote entering the Japanese market. And for Sri Lanka, we have subtitles of this project that is support promotion of ICT BPM industry towards Japan market. And we will have the 2 years duration starting from the last November. And we have the expected output of to enhance the competitiveness in the Japanese market. And we will have some activities like inviting companies from Sri Lanka to Japan and also from Japan to Sri Lanka to do to actual matching between companies. Okay, so let me briefly explain about this figure. That has been actually created in previous study that we did in the year 2020 to 2022. At that time, due to the COVID situation, we could not come to the Sri Lanka, but in that online survey, we focused on the specific area, vertical market, and vertical technologies to be attractive in Japanese market. Because as you can see here, the current situation in Japan is that offshore development. So in terms of the offshore market, it is already a very competitive market. And we thought that this is not a good strategy for Sri Lanka to join this sector to compete with those big countries. So we thought that in Sri Lanka, there should be a very competitive edge in terms of the technologies that is attractive to potential Japanese industries. So that if we could find and identify those special technologies, then we will be able to connect the Japanese potential clients with the IT solution providers in Sri Lanka directly, not going through the intermediate companies. Normally, it is a Japanese IT solution provider to provide the offshore business. But we tried to find some specific area in Sri Lankan ICT industry to be attractive in the potential Japanese market. Well, but in this project, actually, we expanded the coverage to these competitive market too, because based on my preliminary interview with Sri Lankan ICT industry, they told me that they are okay to compete with those countries as far as they have the equal opportunity. Anyway, this outsourcing market is a very big market, so that it is worth entering and competing with those sectors. So in this study, in this project, we will cover both, so that we will try to find specific competitive edges in Sri Lanka ICT market, as well as try to find the opportunity, some outsourcing business. Okay, so then let me talk about the overview of ICT market now in Japan. This is a figure of the size of software market in Japan. As you can see, in the year 2023, last year, there was around 15 billion US dollar market for first half year of 2023. And at the same time, the market size of the worldwide was 452 billion. So Japanese market has around 3% of world market, I can say. You may think that this is a small compared to the Japan's economic status, but there is a reason. And you may guess already, but the reason is that we don't have enough manpower to produce enough revenue from the ICT market. Okay, but anyway, the software market is growing steadily, and it was up nearly 10% from the previous year. And these are the projection for next 5 years, starting from 2022. And we can see a big growth in software market. And if we can succeed, inviting your companies, Sri Lankan companies, into Japanese market, then this figure can even more That's our target. Okay, so what are the major trends of IT market in Japan? The biggest trend in Japan now is a digital transformation, DX. DX is a kind of buzzword now in every area, every sectors in Japanese market, so that every company wants to adopt or wants to implement some kind of digital transformation in their companies. However, there is a problem. Digital transformation in Japan often fails. Why? And as I will explain later, but DX requires the top-down initiative. And the third reason is that even if they have the top-down initiative and want to do the DX, but they cannot find enough IT human resources. So they want to do, but they have no way to actually implement that. That is a severe problem in Japan now. So anyway, DX market is huge in Japan, so that in order to apply for this market, we need some kind of proposal-based approach, so that if some of your companies wants to deliver some DX solutions to Japanese companies, you are expected to provide a very comprehensive offer and proposal to the target client companies, so that they can understand the importance of DX and the content of the DX. Okay, so but another problem is that DX itself is has become a buzzword now, and sometimes they don't understand the real meaning of the DX. As you can see here, the real DX should be a complete transition to the new form of the business, so that it's not just a digitization of something analog currently they have, or it's not just a digitalization to try to replace some process. And rebuild everything from the scratch. That is a real DX. And in order to do that, of course, top management must have a vision to do that. So they have to have a clear image of the to-be status, so that the entire company can proceed with the DX. And solution provider like you should assist the vision of top management to realize this transformation. But unfortunately, there are still not enough understanding of the real meaning of the DX in Japanese client companies. So I hope that you will have the chance to propose the real state of the DX to Japanese companies. Okay. And there are several other major trends in ICT market of Japan. Namely, everything is now going to cloud, especially for small to medium-sized enterprises, because big companies are already shifting to cloud-based system, and now in some system they are coming back to on-premise system, depending on the security requirements and other issues. But they have been doing already. But SMEs are still not ready or not implemented the cloud shift of their existing system. So those cloud-based transition is a huge potential in small to medium-sized enterprises in Japan. Okay, and the cybersecurity is becoming a concern in every part of the society in Japan, like all over the world. So that and unfortunately some of the companies don't have enough measure to protect from the possible attacks from outside. So this area is also have potential. But as you may know, cybersecurity solutions are more like ready-made solutions. There are many package solutions and also the hardware-based solutions like unified threat management or firewall. So it's not always the target of the software industry. But anyway, this is a big market. And the last one, but not least, AI and IoT is a huge trend nowadays in Japan and in the world. And as you know, AI can be applied to any industry, so that AI is a kind of cross-sectorial trend in Japan. And especially in Japan, software-only solution with the AI is, of course, common, but more attractive solution is the combination of IoT devices or sensors, because AI requires some data to be input, and these data can be obtained in real time by sensors, for example. So that the combination of AI and IoT is a huge trend in Japan. Okay. Well, then if it comes to the issues or problems in ICT market of Japan, as we told you many times already, but the shortage of IT human resources is not a joke in Japan. Actually, it's overwhelming shortage of human resources. And it is getting worse and worse every time we have the statistics. Well, so that is the biggest problem. And one of the reasons we initiated this project, JICA project, is because we will try to secure the quality IT human resources in Japan or in other countries, that we can have enough power to develop the required solutions for Japanese market. Actually, Japan has excellent IT engineers, of course, but the problem is that the absolute number is not enough. That's a simple answer. And to make it worse, nowadays, not only IT solution companies but other industries also want to secure the IT engineers. For example, consulting firms are now recruiting the talented IT engineers with high salary in Japan, so that in IT solution provider companies, they have the shortage of programmers and engineers, for example. So that it's like we cannot find any resource in some areas and in some region in Japan. So now large companies have already taken some measures long time ago, and large companies have basically no problem. For example, many large companies setting up the training facilities in Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Myanmar, and they provide training to the fresh graduate from IT-related universities on the Japanese language and Japanese business cultures. And of course, in Sri Lanka, we also have the similar same facility. And in order to do that, we can secure IT engineers who can speak Japanese and who knows the Japanese business culture, so that they are ready to work in Japan. So that large companies in Japan have been doing this kind of programs, and they produce hundreds of Japanese speaking engineers already. But still, that's not enough. The shortage of IT human resources far more than these supply. So that we need to invite the ICT solution providers from many countries. Frankly speaking, not only from Sri Lanka, but we are trying to attract many more countries, because the shortage is that severe. And another problem is that, as you may know, but Japan is an aging society, and now there are growing population of aged people, so that there is a special demand for healthcare, IT solutions for aged people, and for other services. And this also causes the labor shortage, because we have fewer younger generations now. Okay. So now this was the overview of ICT market, but from now we will look into the target sectors, each sectors in Japan. This figure shows the amount of IT investment in Japan by sectors. The blue one was the figure of the 2021, and green one is the forecast of the 2026. And as you can see here, manufacturing sector is by far the biggest investors in IT, and well, it's even increasing very rapidly. Okay, and the second one is the financial sectors. It's also growing, and the third is the retail and wholesale. All sort of the selling industry, and public sector and the education sector, and the logistics, construction, something like that. But if you compare these figures, manufacturing is by far the biggest in Japan. So that, as you may know, Japan is a manufacturing country, actually. Okay, and there are many other sectors that is not included here, and the total of those other sectors are also very large portion. So that I can say that if your company is not in one of these sectors, but you still have a chance, because the IT investment in other sectors are also quite large. Okay, so starting from manufacturing industry, that is the biggest portion in Japanese IT market and the investment. Okay, there are two major areas for ICT needs in manufacturing. The first one is the digital transformation of manufacturing process, or so-called smart factory, or someone is saying the industry 4.0. In the case of Japan, we call society 5.0, but the basic idea is the same. So that in manufacturing sectors, they have been doing many factory automation things, so that it's already somewhat digitalized. But the combination of those digitalized manufacturing countries in the world. Especially for all the recent trend of the low volume, high variety production is the driving force for the more intelligent manufacturing processes. And as you can see here, in order to do some digitalization in the manufacturing site, we need many digital sensors, IoT sensors. So that the combination of IoT sensors are again very important here. Another area in manufacturing is the supply chain management. As you know, but due to the COVID-19, we realized the importance of the supply chain, global supply chain. So that now many manufacturing companies are trying to rebuild their supply chain management globally, so that we have the needs for solutions in this area. Okay, so if you say the smart manufacturing, there are basically three common targets. One is a smart factory, the second one is smart product, and the third one is smart service. Smart factory is what I was explaining, so that we will try to make the production site more intelligent to adapt to the recent trend of the high mix, low volume production. But we should also upgrade the product that we produce to be more intelligent, including AI functions or IoT sensor functions. So there are three major areas to implement the digital transformation in manufacturing sectors. Okay, but there is one big misunderstandings you or anyone who have not been working in manufacturing take. Manufacturing is a little bit different from a normal IT system because manufacturing companies have normally two areas for IT target. One is a normal office, back office of the companies, and they are using the normal systems like conventional office systems, financial accounting, managerial accounting, corporate finance, human resources. These are the very common system, and supply chain management or customer relationship management, CRM. At the manufacturing site in the factory, they have totally different systems. I would say that the systems working in the manufacturing site is in the synchronous world compared to the asynchronous world of the normal system. Okay, like manufacturing execution system, or manufacturing operation management, or a SCADA, or a PLC, that is a tiny computer attached to the factory automation equipment. So this difference is quite important, significant. Yeah, because as you know, normal office system or PC that you're using working asynchronous. So that, for example, you can leave emails sent to your inbox, and you can read them anytime you want. So it's asynchronous. But in the production, it will be the compilation of the work in progress in between the two equipment, or sometimes the first process is slow, so that the second process must wait for the parts coming from the previous step. So in the optimized factory, all the equipment must work in synchronous manner, as you can imagine the car manufacturing factory. So that developing the software or a system for this kind of synchronous world is quite different from the normal software development, system development. So that we need some special caution or experience to develop the system for manufacturing site. Well, anyway, since manufacturing is the biggest portion in Japanese market, I explained a little bit in detail. And now comes to the second largest market sector, that is financial sector. Well, but I'm sorry to say that though this is a very big market in Japan, but the biggest portion of this financial sector is occupied by the banking backbone system, back-end system, and in Japan, actually, all banks in Japan are participating in the industry association, and they are developing the backbone system cooperatively together, so that all the banks will use basically the same system, common system, and that is called Zengin system. And well, yeah, so and they invite only the limited number of the solution providers that have the proved quality in the past, like IBM, yeah, Fujitsu, those big names only. So that unfortunately there will be no chance for other newcomers to go into the development of this backbone system. But still, even if they are using the same system in the backbone, but the end user application like a smartphone online app are developed independently, of course, and they are trying to input and many original functions to them, so that in this client side systems, we may have opportunities to enter. And for fintech, this is also the strength in Sri Lankan ICT industry. Non-bank systems have more freedom and opportunities for the Sri Lankan ICT companies, I think. Like a mobile payments app or virtual currencies, as you know, or you may not know, but Japan is one of the few countries that officially allow the transaction of virtual currencies in the market, so that there are many players there. And also blockchain-based technologies like smart contracting or traceability systems are also good opportunity. And as you may know, but there is already one Sri Lankan companies went into the traceability system market in Japan. Okay. And the third one is the retail market. And yeah, majority of the market is for e-commerce systems. But I have to say that they are rather major market. So that the development of the e-commerce system itself is not a big portion now. But the analysis of the data accumulated by the e-commerce is the current trend. So that big data analysis and the personalized marketing using AI, those kind of things are now increasingly important. So that the client company can do the demand forecasting or dynamic price optimization, something strategy, so that physical stores and online stores will be combined and into one, and deliver the better customer satisfaction and efficient inventory management. This is another area that we can practice. Okay, and there was this is not in the figure before, but medical sectors are also quite big in Japan, because, for example, medical devices using the AI vision to detect some cancer, early stage cancer, a very growing market, and actually Japanese makers are the top ranking in the world. So they have the competitive edge. And not only the big names like Fuji Film and other Olympus, those producing the high-end systems, but there are opportunities for smaller systems. For example, as you know, today's one of today's speakers, that company has developed the image detection system by using AI for Japanese medical device makers. And another example is that in the previous survey, we did some collaboration between an individual doctor who has an idea to create the new small device. He doesn't have any background of the ICT, so that we did the matching with a Sri Lankan company to develop the system. So those opportunities are there, and not only those device-based system, but since Japan is an aging society now, and the telehealth, the needs for telehealth and remote healthcare consulting are getting more important. So that I think that there will be a chance for the market to enter. And one of the problem of the medical sector in Japan is that there are already many systems for medical, for example, hospital information systems, or any other web management system for the clinic or hospital. There are so many in Japanese, but they are not compatible. Most of them are independent software, and there's no way to share the data so that we can do the big data analysis. So that I think the data management of heterogeneous systems and will be a one opportunity for the market. Okay, and last one, but not least, again, AI is a huge trend now, not only in Japan, but also in the world. And you may know, but Japan has relatively few regulations on AI compared to EU or US. You know that EU is especially worrying about the impact of AI to the society, so that they are trying to regulate the many aspects of AI. But Japan has rather generous strategy. Japanese government is clearly promoting AI use than limiting it. For example, in order to use the copyrighted materials for AI learning, Japan allows in any purpose you can use the copyrighted materials for training. But in England or EU, they don't allow, for example. So that we can say that if your company is very much AI oriented, then it will be a good idea to enter the Japanese market, but because you have less regulation, you have less limitation in developing the solutions. And in fact, OpenAI CEO, he came to Japan last year to meet with the Prime Minister and other important figures, and he decided to open the R&D facility in Japan just because of this Japanese government's strategy. Okay, and I would add that for Japanese people, normally AI does not have a bad image. We feel more affinity towards AI than hostility because we have one long history of the animation and cartoons who have the AI-based characters, so that we, at least most of us, believe that if you correctly use AI, then it would not be a threat to the human beings. That's more kind of optimistic than other countries, I think. Okay, so this slide shows some of the popular AI use cases in Japan. And as you can see here, AI is a cross-sectorial technology, so that in many industries, they are trying to use AI. Okay. So, well, we don't have some time. Okay. The next topic is the regional and associative aspect of Japanese industry. Okay. Well, if you look at the Japanese market, please be reminded that Japan is not too much centralized society to Tokyo. You know, Tokyo is the capital and it's a big city, but many industries, many economical activities are done outside of those big cities. For example, you know Toyota, but Toyota is not based on Tokyo. Toyota is based on the Toyota City, in Aichi Prefecture, and Mazda is based on Hiroshima City. So I can say that every car maker has its headquarters in other than Tokyo. And for other manufacturing companies, electronic companies, for example, they also have the central facility in other cities than Tokyo. So this means that you don't have to think only Tokyo or Osaka, and there are many other cities that have enough market size and enough needs for the ICT solutions. And as I told you, human resource shortage is more severe in regional areas than big cities. So that, in other words, you have more opportunity to enter those regional areas that have the big industry. Okay. And local governments in Japan also offer many incentive programs for that, so that sometimes infrastructure, ICT infrastructure in those cities are sometimes better than big cities, and they have better incentives, and you also have a big local market for specific industry. So that why don't you consider other cities than Tokyo? That's my message. And this is one example that METI, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, and JETRO have jointly selected 24 cities for supporting regional foreign direct investment in Japan. So that all these cities have incentives for foreign investment, and so that you have better condition and better deal for entering Japanese market, for example. And there are many more incentives like this. Okay, and another specific aspect of the Japanese industry is that Japanese normally likes gathering, as you know. We are working as a group, and we love it. So that in Japan, there are so many industry associations. Even for the ICT sectors, there are, I think, more than 10 or even more industry associations for specific area of the technology, like a network technology or embedded systems. So that, and just like a banking sector, they are sometimes tend to think as a group, not by the individual company. So that if you have a chance to get good, have a good relationship with those industry associations, then you have more chance to meet with the member companies of those associations. And some of the examples are listed here. Yeah, there is an association for deep learning, robotics, embedded systems, and this association is actually collaborating with the Sri Lankan universities, actually LNBTI, to provide the embedded systems training. And there are other associations specific to the technology. And after this seminar, I will provide the list of the whole industry association. There are more than 100, so that you can take a look at and search for the association that is corresponding to your product, for example. Okay, so now coming to the challenge in entering Japanese market. And by far the biggest barrier is the Japanese language, as everybody knows already. So, and everybody knows that spoken Japanese is still okay if you learn, but the real problem is reading and writing. So that any laws, regulations, and the standards in Japan are often provided in Japanese only. And if you want to deliver and provide your product in Japan, you have to translate everything into Japanese. That's a problem. And well, to make it worse, to make the matter worse, Japanese language is actually required for all level of ICT solutions. Managing directors or high-end people of the company. But in Japan, even the enterprise level system must be in Japanese. Yeah, so that all level of solutions must be provided to Japanese in Japanese language. And Japanese, if you learn seriously the Japanese and Japanese for business field, it takes more time, years of learning in order to correctly use the business oriented Japanese. So if you really thinking, if you really think to enter Japanese market, you have to you cannot go without dealing with the Japanese language. So you have to do some measure for that. But if your target is just to have the daily conversation with a Japanese client, then it's not so difficult. Actually, now we have many smartphone apps like Duolingo that you can learn Japanese for free, and it's quite good for the level of the daily conversation. And there is also an online platform created by Japanese people for friendly discussion with foreigners. Yeah, so those freely available services are there, so that if your target is a casual learning of Japanese, that's enough. Well, by the way, why is Japanese language the biggest barrier? The reason is that simply Japanese cannot speak English. That's the reason. Okay. If you look at this ranking, and Japan is almost the bottom of the rank. Because fortunately or unfortunately, almost all university textbooks are translated in Japanese. So our translation industry is huge, and any technical materials we can find in Japanese. Actually, that's actually not a good, not good for English learners, I think. But please do not misunderstand that we don't like English. We like English and we want to speak English well always, but somehow we cannot, or it's very difficult for us to learn the English. Some linguist says that one reason is that Japanese and English has a very quite different linguistic structure, so that it's very difficult to comprehend the structure. Yeah. Anyway, for the Japanese business culture, I think well we will have another session to cover this topic in deep. So I would just briefly say, but Japanese tend not to speak explicitly directly, and we love we have some unspoken kind of communication. So just like we like the pictures, cartoons, and the animations, we get information, communication from our eyes, not by sound or voice. That's the principal difference. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So but we have, I think we have a possible solution to Sri Lanka. If you look at this figure, this is a ranking of the number of students studying in Japan per 1 million people of that country. Yes. So you are in the 6th in the world, and you have more than Myanmar, Bangladesh, Pakistan, or India that are already in the Japanese ICT market. Unfortunately, Vietnam is more, but anyway, this means that ICT company has more chance to find Sri Lankan who has studied in Japan, so that you can have the bridging person. But as you know, not all Sri Lankan students in Japan are studying ICT, so that for the ICT domain knowledge, we have to find some other resource. And this is a hypothesis of breaking barriers in Japan, especially for Japanese language. So since we have a good number of the students studying in Japan, one option is to contact one of the students if you know him or her. Then try to have the cooperation to contact some of the companies in Japan, so that you get the initial contact. Yeah, getting initial contact is very important. It's very difficult in Japan, and this can be a very good starting point. And as I told you, the traceability solution company in Sri Lanka, they started their entry in Japanese market by this method. So I think this is very effective. And the second option is to prepare some bridge IT engineers in Sri Lanka by letting them learn some Japanese language and Japanese business practices. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I will share this document, this presentation later. Yeah. So everybody can get this presentation. Actually, ETB will have the call for application for this project, and at that website, I plan to place these all presentations. Yeah, so that you can freely get the copy. Anyway, so this we have the SLEDB in Sri Lanka, so that you can learn Japanese language together with the Japanese business cultures there. Okay, so this is another second option. The third option, if you have enough budget to establish some branch in our office in Japan, that could be, of course, a good way to start the business. Or if you don't mind that you will do the outsourcing business with Japanese companies, that's another possibility. Okay. So I looked at the website of the embassy of Sri Lanka in Japan, and they have the list of the association of Sri Lankan people or living or studying in Japan, so that those association could be a good resource for the human bridge human resources. And on the Japanese side, we also have several association for the friendship between Japan and Sri Lanka. But as far as I checked, most of them are not so active. English-speaking person in Japan, regardless that he or she knows Sri Lanka or not, because anyway you can communicate like an international business, and there will not be a problem. The only needed skill is the Japanese speaking and Japanese business culture, so that the person should know those skills. So the last part is that potential target sectors in Japan for Sri Lankan ICT companies. Okay, so basic strategy for choosing target sectors in Japan is that, first of all, if you consider the typical offshore development market, that's okay. But as I told you, many competition are already there, like Vietnam, Bangladesh, so that a profit margin will be rather thin. But I would rather recommend that your company should have some specific technical edge, so that your company can say that we are the world #1 in this specific technology. If you can say like this, then it will have you will have more chance in Japan, I think, because Japanese industry normally likes statement like this. And if you say that, yeah, we can do any kind of development with low cost, that will not work, because there are already a bunch of companies from Vietnam, Bangladesh saying the same thing, so that it cannot differentiate your company from others. Okay. And another recommendation is try to approach industry-specific needs for advanced ICT, so that you can contact some of the industry associations. Yeah. And as I told you, regional areas of Japan is actually very attractive, yeah, even compared with the big cities. So that please do not concentrate only on Tokyo, but try look at other cities in Japan. Okay, so these are the differences between the typical offshore needs and the vertical needs. If it is offshore needs, you will do the normal development with high volume and low variety and low cost. But in Japanese market, Japanese industry is more like a specialized market, so that if you have some specific experts in a very specific technologies, then you will have a better chance to have the communication with the target specific areas. But it is a limited volume, high variety, and high cost. So it's quite opposite. Okay, so these are some of the examples that I can think of about the potential vertical market, like AI, IoT functions for specialized hardware. Yeah, hardware related product is always good in Japanese market, generally speaking. And edge computing is also a very big trend. And also, some raw network server software is a very specific verticals, but there are needs for those. And factory automation, like I said, and real-time systems, embedded systems, and I know already Sri Lanka is producing talented engineers in this field, by collaborating with the Japanese Embedded Systems Association. Okay, and or any other domain specific area can be a potential verticals, I think. Okay, and yeah, you may notice that most of them are cyber physical systems. So those are not only the software only solutions, but some sort of hardware or equipment is related. Yeah, of course you can provide software only solution, but in Japan there are more needs for those cyber physical systems. Okay, so that if you prefer the sector that does not need a heavy cultural adaptation, then sectors like smart agriculture for small scale farmers, IoT based systems, smart systems would be one area. Or as I told you, embedded systems or microcomputer based IoT systems are a big market in Japan. And yeah, game or gamification, 3D graphics, the VR, those kind of things does not normally need the localization. It just use the picture or image, so that it's easier for entering the market. And some specific vertical fintech solutions are also potential. And yeah, solution development outsourcing for regional areas. For regional areas of Japan, still have a big market. And the business process outsourcing, like remote management of the network or any, remote kind of outsourcing, not by using Japanese language, would be a good potential. And what other general purpose business systems like a BPM or a CRM, SFA, ERP, those things? You can try, but you need to localize everything, including UI, help, tools. Everything must be translated into Japanese, so that it will be it will incur very high cost. Okay, and as I told you, accounting or legal section, no, not told yet, but accounting or legal sector is not recommended, because Japan has our own regulation and laws, and you need to read all the thick Japanese books for those things. Okay, and banking and stock market, unfortunately, it's already occupied by the domestic big names, so that you have less chance. Okay, and finally, if you say the BPM market situation in Japan, it's already dominated by big names like SAP, IBM, Oracle, and there are a bunch of Japanese local solution providers for the BPM solutions, and they are all free localized in Japanese language with Japanese business rules, so that if you enter this market from now, then it will be a very long journey to accomplish the entry, I think. Okay, thank you very much. That's all for my first presentation. Back to you, Vajra-san.
Thank you very much, Kogure-san, for sharing your expertise and insights. Those information incredibly valuable. Your information, Kogure-san. And since Kogure-san is supposed to stay with this project for next 2 years, you'll have a regular meetups, and you can get more advice and more insights from Kogure-san. So next, to proceed with our webinar today, I would like to invite Professor Ananda Kumara. He's the president and vice chancellor of Lanka Nippon Biztech Institute, the LNBTI, in Maharagama, which is one of the very important establishment catering to Japanese market. So over to you, Professor Ananda.
Okay, good morning. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Professor.
Okay. Good morning to everybody. Actually, when I was listening to the presentation of Mr. Kogure and the little bit more on Japan business culture and cultural understanding. In fact, Mr. Kogure also mentioned that it is a little bit difficult for you to enter the Japanese market directly. So it is exactly true. And instead of persons, Japanese people tend to trust the institution or the organizations. In that way, most probably I can also assist you because now for the time being, even though I'm in Sri Lanka, I'm still the president of Japan Association for Global Competence Education, which is comprised of membership of about 250 universities from Japan. And also, I was the former president of Sri Lanka Academics Association, which is comprised of researchers and professors. And since I am now in Sri Lanka now, I'm holding the vice president post over there, but that network also can be used if you are interested of getting that. Okay, so that association with the organizations is a very important thing. In fact, when we think of Japan, if I am doing this, conducting this session physically, I would ask you to talk about what you know, but it is not necessary at this time. We just think about what you know about Japan before listening to the presentations of this session. But as a summary, if I would say, there are many unique customs in Japan. Very basic things are follow rules. Rules are there, everybody follow the rules. Timeliness. So if you make a promise, you will be there on time, anybody will be there on time. Then respect each other. It is very big. Each other. For example, if you drive on the road, you respect the other driver. But how is it in Sri Lanka? The answer is up to you. Then hospitality. And cleanliness, honesty, then groupism. People work as a group, not as individuals. Of course, individuals do their contribution, but with a common group objective. Then paternalism. Actually, this term comes there because now the company takes care of the employees, and employees have their own loyalty to the company. Then, 5 years is very well known in Sri Lanka. And then JIT, just in time, not quite in advance, but just in time to do the work. Then quality is a very famous keyword for Japanese products. And all these are related to, in fact, social ethics and work ethics and legal issues. The thing is that even though there are many foreigners now in Japan, they are not so familiar about most of these practices. Of course, they may be a little bit aware of certain practices, but not everything. Without familiarizing about all these things, it is very difficult to become successful if you are going to be an employee over there. And at the same time, if you are going to work with the Japanese people, these practices also are very important. And yes, let's see just very simple thing regarding work ethics and dedication. From both sides, employee side as well as the employee side. Punctuality, honesty, professionality, dedication, then company loyalty, lifetimes. So these are very, very common keywords when you are thinking about work ethics in Japan. Punctuality, it is, I think, it is somewhat like our national carrier, UL, usually late. And honesty, then think about yourself. And professionality means actually when you work in a company, it is there from the very every employee who is at a very lower level of the institute and up to the top. They take the responsibility of their work. How is it in Sri Lanka? And then dedication. So are our people dedicated to the work or to the self? Just think about yourself. And then regarding the company, loyalty. Always thinking of moving to a better place. This is what I learned after coming to Sri Lanka. whenever I meet somebody, they are asking for better opportunities. Of course, when you look at some very bad, notorious situation, maybe about 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago, it is very common for somebody to look for better opportunities. But should it be attached with the company loyalty? Yes. Yes. Let's think about that. The lifetime employment. Now, in fact, I realize that we Sri Lankans, particularly here in a country which is known as a developing country, always think about yourself, ourselves, and think about my future somewhere else, not here. This is a very big difference which I see between Japan and Sri Lanka when you talk about the work ethics. And then when you come to the aspect of business rituals and etiquette, there are many unique practices actually what you have to enlarge it. Why can't you write in a little bit larger letters? A very, very simple thing. I mean, just look at your business card. I don't know how it is. Then proper bowing, that is a greeting. And then in Japan, there is a kind of a gift-giving practices. So whenever you meet somebody for business practice, then there is a very small souvenir from you and from the other. That is a normal thing. And being polite all the time, not aggressive. And in a seating arrangement also, there is a kind of a system. Then business attire. And when you are going to talk with somebody for business purposes, make sure that you will very well be aware about how Japanese people look at you. I will show you some photos actually sometime later. And for the hierarchy also, it is very important in Japan. And then even though our individual employees may be very, very talented people, but the group harmony is very important. And then again, on the main focus is on the customer side. Now, when you are going to deal something, when you're kind of a new business with Japanese partners, and as Mr. Kogure also invited, don't say we can do anything. If somebody in Japan listen to that statement, they will say you don't know anything. But if you can say we are the best producer or the VR number so and so in this industry, then they will understand something. So don't say that even though Sri Lanka is a little bit of spending a harder time nowadays, but don't say we can do anything and try to be a specialist in your business. And then in a business meeting, and they should be very formal and well prepared, and even when you are going to make a presentation, and make sure that you have included all information, all related information, important information, not according to you, but thinking of what they expect. Then when you are going to do the negotiations in Japan, this is for personal advice as well, don't expect the result so soon, not like when compared to the Europeans or Americans. And then immediately after the business this contacts, then you have to follow it up in a formal manner and very politely. And I don't know whether the last one, what I have listed here, business entertaining. Business entertaining is a very common thing. Maybe in Sri Lanka, it's not a crime, but that part is very important. We usually say the most important and discussions come during the business entertaining time. That means there is a particular word in Japan as well, nomunication. Nomu means drink. The latter part comes from the communication. Communication while drinking. So it is very, very, very common in Japan. And actually, a very big deal may start with a very simple chat with a Japanese partner. And then when you talk to the Japanese partners, this indirect communication, non-verbal communication, these are very unique to Japan. Since Mr. Kogure also emphasized about that, then maybe I will skip it. But there is a particular another new word. New means new to Sri Lanka. Ukiyo meeting or the surrounding. And sometimes, even though there is something for you to talk, sometimes it may be advisable to not to talk while looking at the surrounding. So that is what we say, ukiyo. And then regarding the important inquiries, business inquiries, no doubt that you have to respond to them very in a polite manner. Then this is an example of bowing. So whenever you meet the business people from Japan, this practice is very important. And actually, if you can bow according to the polite way in Japan, then they will be very happy to start some developing some new business with you. And these are actually, when I just checked my name on the internet, there were many photos and I just got a screenshot. Just look at it. How about the when we go to meet somebody, we have to respect them. Even though it might be a hard time for us to wear these suits all the time, but when you are going to meet somebody, we have to be very formal. Our country is a very good country, but even though when you are going to meet a business person, whether it is in Sri Lanka or in Japan, I think this point is very important. And this is something else what I realized actually. Even though I am a Sri Lankan, I came back to Sri Lanka just after spending 40 years in Japan. I came back here in December 2022. And when I came to Sri Lanka, I used to know that some people are saying, Japanese people are smiling all the time. Whether it is a kind of a photo or in a classroom in a university, attending to the class, they are always in a happy mood. How about in Sri Lanka? So that mood is very important. I think if you look at the news in Sri Lanka, I think the mood is completely the opposite. But do you think that that news is only restricted to Sri Lanka? Maybe. Throughout the world, people look at them now through the YouTube. Actually, you can know anything, you can see anything, and these things give some impression about our country in other countries as well. Okay, then regarding the timekeeping, punctuality, it is normal thing. Being late is completely not acceptable, particularly for the business meetings. So take an example of this Shinkansen, bullet train. And there are maybe about 14, 15 or 16 compartments. And one compartment may have about 200 seats. The time they will take is only 10 minutes in Tokyo Station. So why is it? It is because of their professionalism. And just look at this timetable. This is a timetable of a local train in Nagoya. So during the peak hours, can you see how a train comes to a platform and people get off and new people get in? And how can they leave in 2 minutes? And sometimes actually even within 1 minute here. Just look at here at the center time, 15, 16. Only within 1 minute, a train comes, people get off, and the others get in, and the train leaves. Timeliness is very important in Japan, and trains come on time. Yes, why all these things? It is because, I would say, secret of growth of Japan. It is because of the professionalism and group doing a better job. So it's a very big difference. I think when I'm talking about these things, if all of you are Sri Lankans, I'm sure you may blame me saying that I am criticizing Sri Lankan people. It's not criticizing. This is just showing what good practices, what we can adopt from Japan. If you want to have a change, if you don't want to have a change, just forget about that. Okay. So as a country, how do they do? Actually, they are thinking about the country on the long term, not on the short term. And what to do are very well planned in advance and with the assistance of experts, and then come up with a very concrete plan which helps to develop the country. So university industrial linkage is extremely strong, and technological advancement. These are the things what we focus while we work over there. And what are the impacts? Actually, people are very happy. There is nothing to worry about whether you don't have foreign currency. That is not an issue. Now, when you were, I'm sure some of you also were lining up with the gasoline stands during the Aragale period, several, maybe 10s or 20s or 30s hours, but nothing was in Japan. So why is it? It is because they have a rule, they follow the rule, they have a plan, they work for the plan. Okay, because now this is a ICT related seminar, I think it is advisable to check this video. Unfortunately, I cannot play it once again. Can you please? Away, and that is to convert the Japanese society to a smart society. So it's a very interesting video. I think it will give you some ideas about how you can contribute in Japan in the future. So then this data is very important. In fact, there is a forecast about the supply of IT engineers within the country. That is Japan. This is a very lower part. It started to decrease after 2019. But the demand for IT, it is very rapidly improving. Even though suppose that the Japanese economy does not function so well, even in that case, there will be 410,000 jobs with no human resources in Japan. That means jobs are there, no people. If the market works well, then they in Sri Lanka. About the quality, I think that is not so much necessary here because now the concern for quality is very high for Japanese product, but it was not the same about 60, 70 years ago. In 1954, in fact, they invited an expert for quality and he gave some advice to Japan. Because that time, the image was Japanese products are very cheap but breakable. Quality is bad. So they got the advice from that engineer. His name is Joseph M. Juran. You can find this, check it on the internet, you can find more information. What was his advice? Actually, his advice was very simple. But in 1983, again, US dispatched a group of top-level engineers to Japan. For what? In fact, when that expert Juran came to Japan, he advised, just try to go for 5% defect rate. If it is possible, try for 1%. It will be very good. But he said, I think it is a very big challenge for you. What happened after 40 years? That is why they sent a group of top executives to Japan. to see how Japanese people were able to improve the quality up to that level. The defect rate, 1 in billion. He advised for 5% and requested to challenge for 1%, but ended up with 1 in million. Can you think about how it happened? If you need to know the secret, then I may talk to you once again. Actually, but it will take a long time, and therefore I skip for that, keeping only that information. And introduce new faculties. But how is it in Sri Lanka? I think a professor in a very famous university may be reading the same book for certain subjects for decades. In Japan, it's completely different. But at the same time, now there are many foreigners coming to Japan to work and to enjoy their life. But there are many things they cannot understand when dealing with Japanese people. I listen to many foreigners kind of grievances saying that Japanese people take long times for making a decisions. Even though they talk several times, nothing happens. But that is the Japanese way. You have to be patient and then try to build your trust. Then everything will be all right. So I will actually, why Japanese companies develop is because of that continuous improvement. They spend their time to see how my work, my office can be improved a little bit more with some kind of a tactic. So that is why that continuous improvement, in Japanese term, there's a word, say, hSenid. So all the people are thinking about how to improve the work a little bit more. And finally, it comes back to you. If the company grows, then definitely you will get a better bonus, and stability is there like that. So this is how Japanese students do their studies over there. Not just cramming. They are working, they are discussing that, in fact, several new concepts are there. Now, this is something actually which I introduced in my last faculty, that is in major university, Future Skills Project. When the students come to the faculty, about what kind of people will be requested, awaiting by the companies. So the company people come and then conduct some lectures, and then people work for achieving the skills required by the industry or the, in general term, market. But in Sri Lanka, I see just students just think, learn something, but whether that is necessary for the society is completely a topic which they want to focus so much attention. So nobody is now sleeping in Japan because they want to learn something and develop skills to contribute in the future for the company itself or the society as a whole. So these photos are in fact from my own university and how we train. It is very easy to work. That is the way we are developing the Japanese students in the higher education sector in particular, and that education strategy starts from the primary sector, primary school. And again, in a company, this PDCA is very common, and every time there is also a continuous process actually, routine basis, PDCA is run, and it finally related with the Kaizen or the continuous. In fact, I told you that I was there for 40 years, And what I was doing, after analyzing about what I was doing over there, I can now realize that I was developing universities over there. I was engaged as a key member in developing 4 universities, including faculties and programs. And the final one, the number 4, actually it became the best faculty for the job placement in the whole country. There are 789 universities, but out of them, the faculty which I developed as the director, and it became the best university, best faculty for job placement. And now,
Oh, Lanka in London.
participants, can you please unmute your mic? Yes. Yes, actually, Japan is a country with many good habits, I think. Admin, is it possible to unmute everything? Okay, Mr. Kogure also mentioned that there is a huge okay.
Please mute yourself.
Okay, so there are many good habits what we can adopt for Sri Lanka, no doubt. But at LNBTI, what we are doing here, so let me just explain to you. Now, we are very clear that to work in Japan as an employment or work with Japanese companies, we should have the competency, that means the education qualification of the Japanese language skill. We are very clear about this one. But in our case at LNBTI, we are not just sending somebody to work in Japan as an ordinary employee. Now, we are developing them to be future leaders. And for that part, we need the part which I have mentioned below, understanding about the Japanese society and business culture. That those are very important things what foreigners usually don't understand. Actually, if you know about that much, not only you can be very successful in Japan, you can become a leader in Japan, but at the same time, if you are going to do some business, definitely it will be related to with your high success over there. Okay, so in Sri Lanka, there are many students actually who are trying to go out, but in our case, we gather them with those who are interested in the IT sector, and we train them for Japan. Particularly LNBTI, this is a new university. Our program is once they complete the degree here, everybody can go to Japan, provided that they will pass the job hunting process at the last year. That opportunity is available for everybody. And that model is this one, which is not so familiar for the Sri Lankans in general, because now what we know is if you enter university, then you will get a degree. But at LNBTI, if you enter LNBTI and pass all related examinations, and finally you can go to Japan and start your job as an IT engineer. But just remember, our model is not just to dispatch Sri Lanka trained engineers to Japan. After they go there, we have a plan to mobilize them and start LNBTI alumni over there and encourage their companies to invest in Sri Lanka, somewhat like offshore investment, foreign investment, and we will also follow it up. In fact, you may know that we have 2 mother companies, one from Japan and one from Sri Lanka. Japan, we have Techno, and from Sri Lanka, we have hSenid. Actually, the president of hSenid will talk after me, so you can get some information from him about how to work with the Japanese companies over there. But because of these 2 very strong companies, we believe that our model to bring investment back to Sri Lanka will work very successfully. So if I just share some general information about the salaries in Japan, IT systems engineer. They are in the middle level, and actually nowadays there are many discussions to increase the salaries of IT engineers because there is a huge demand. In fact, in the past, they did not accept so many foreigners, but nowadays the situation is completely different. If you have skills, and if you know the language, and if you know the correct business practices, you can be really successful. Over there. And in fact, then again, what I can do, as I explained to you at the beginning, I spent 40 years in Japan as an academic and UN official over there, and now related to many associations relating to Sri Lanka as well as to Japan. So if there are any company which is having a difficulty to get some connections to those associations, perhaps I may be able to assist you. And at the same time, our students, nowadays we recruit only the students who are genuinely interested in going to Japan because this is a very special program. In addition to IT, our programs are a kind of a tailor-made for Japan. Their Japanese knowledge will be very high, and they know very well about Japanese society. Everybody will be very much familiar about that, and perhaps if you are interested, you may recruit them even for your internships and see how they are. But I don't know whether they would like to work here in Sri Lanka or not. But basically, we encourage them to go to Japan after they complete the degree. So that's all for the time being. But I am very happy to see that there are very enthusiastic companies here who are willing to work with Japan. And be careful and keep in mind that you have to be honest and professional and timely. Okay, with that, I will end my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ananda, for very valuable information about the Japanese business culture. And also LNBTI, the institute established with a lot on the floor at the Q&A session. So next, thank you very much, Professor, once again. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Dinesh Saparamadu. He's the founder and chairman of hSenid Group of Companies and PeoplesHR, which they have 7 product and service companies, and most of their companies, they cater to Japanese market. So let's hear to Dinesh the case study on their journey towards the Japanese market. Over to you, Dinesh.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Vajra, and thank you for everybody who actually spoke before, I think. And most of you would have actually got a understanding of what the Japanese market requires, what the Japanese market current challenges are, and then also about how you should kind of think about that. So what I will actually So out of our companies, it's actually only one company that actually is focusing on to the Japanese market. But we started this almost 7 years ago. So the most important part, I would say, is that, you know, whoever is looking to build the Japanese market, it's a very different compared to how we would do in other countries. I think that was mentioned during the presentation also, previous presentations. Because if you are working with other Asian countries, or if you're working with Europe or US or other things, you know, they are very much of a transactional oriented. What does that mean? We certainly kind of give them a value proposition. They look at the value proposition, they work on it. If they find a better value proposition, they will move out to another location. But with the Japanese companies that we have been working with, they have been very, very old relationships. I think Professor Ananda mentioned about LMBTI. So I have known the chairman of LMBTI before not chairman of Metatechno for 15 years. Only after that, we actually started this venture, the joint venture, after 15 years of knowing each other. So that's the kind of relationship, that's the kind of long-term plan that you need to have if you're actually looking at the Japanese market. So, like I said, we started going to Japan about 7 years back and exploring the Japanese market. And the way that we initially started was, how that any one of you may be thinking is to just go for a exhibition, whether it's the Japanese IT week or whether it's another Japanese C-Tech or something like that, and then meet some people that come to the booth and then decide, oh, okay, this is great, I go back, I follow up with them, I can get business. So that was the same approach we did maybe even before 7 years. We started working for 7 years, but even before that. But I think the way that you have to really think about Japan is that to think, if I'm going to look at this market, I'm going to look at it at least a 5-year time horizon, minimum a 5-year time horizon. So what does that mean? That means is that this cannot be your primary focus, because because for 5 years, if you are to invest into a market to build that market, that may be draining a lot if you don't have another sources of income. So the way that we did was, while we were actually doing other things, we set up a separate unit to look after the Japanese market, because I myself had a very interest to the Japanese market. So in that, we actually, created, I would say, a plan of kind of entering into the market. If you really think about, the Japanese market offers significant opportunities, but success requires a deep understanding of local culture and business practices. Entering the Japanese market successfully requires navigating through a lot of other barriers that you will not think when you're looking at a different market altogether. But if we kind of track that, it will be a very, very long-term relationship. So I would say, if somebody is looking for to enter the Japanese market, and I think it's a good opportunity, what JICA and EDB is doing is to focus on this 2-year program. And I would say 2-year program is just a start, but you must still have maybe another 2 to 3 years of sustaining yourself into that particular market. To do that, I think will, first of all, good to do a lot of research of the market. Decide what areas are you going to focus on. I think our previous speakers spoke about some of the areas I think Yamada-san spoke about areas that are currently trending or hot in those markets. Do you have any products in those markets, into those segments? How do we position that into the Japanese market? So I think doing that initial research, market research and segmentation is very, very important. You have to gain a very comprehensive understanding of the Japanese market and how this would fit into that particular thing. What are their customer preferences? What are the key segments that you want to look at? So I think that's a very important part. Then I think the second one is to say that, okay, to do to do this, I need to localize this. I think it was mentioned before also by Yamada-san that it's an interesting, because not that Japanese don't want to speak English, but because their whole society, everyday activities are done in Japanese, that we need to be able to adapt if we want to enter to the market. So you need to make sure that your collateral, even your business cards, that everything is in Japanese. So localization is a very important part on that. So that's, I would say, the second aspect. And then also, I think, to be able to be successful, gave some suggestions, whether it's Sri Lankan university students or some, to have a kind of a local presence, so that whoever that is in Japan, that they will be able to contact that person, and then, so you are not, 7,000-8,000 miles away, every time that a conversation needs to happen. So that, I think, would be the next thing. Then I think the most important part is building relationships and networking. I think, as Ananda mentioned, I think in his presentation also, it's about, being able to go out with them, go for dinners, have a drink with them, discuss about it. And these are very casual things. And I think the most important thing that Prof. Ananda mentioned, I think for all of us who are in this, is to say that you need to be very, very transparent and honest. I have seen some companies who try to kind of pull a fasting, or even when we get a Japanese visit in Sri Lanka, they try to fasting and create something, like a short-term gain. That's not the market. If that is your thinking, I think Japan is not your market to look at. But if building relationship and networking is a very, very important part. And the other thing I would say is looking at strategic partnership or alliances. Can you complement with something that they are doing? So we had certain areas of expertise that we actually looked at for companies that can complement that. So we worked with them. And then create a tailor-made marketing strategy for Japan. And, and last thing I would say is that in that particular thing, look at this as a long-term, and like I mentioned, make sure that you have a long-term sustaining to the market, because if you don't, you're just wasting time. The long-term part I can't emphasize. If I had to emphasize two things, you need to be able to have a very long-term plan, a sustainable long-term plan, and number two is to make everything that is Japanese. So for that, there are many other ways, and I think one of the things that we are doing is at LMBTI is that having some of our interns to join some of the companies who are looking to expand into the Japanese market or go into that Japanese market. That would be a very good way of kind of entering the market. So those are I would say, the items of entering Japanese market and our experience of kind of working in there. But once you build a relationship, you can rest assured, as long as you keep to the promises that you have given, you will have these customers for a long period. So with that, I will kind of conclude. I know we have a Q&A, but I need to kind of also to be at some other place. If I can, Vajra, what do you want to do? Do you want to take any Q&A at this point, or you want to finish the whole thing?
If you want, we can take some Q&As at this point. And any companies who would like to raise your questions to Dinesh?
If there's anything, if anybody needs anything, if they want to kind of have a quick chat on what they're planning to do, please feel free to contact us, and we'll be able to be glad to kind of jump on a quick call or something like that. So with that, thank you very much and good luck for everybody.
Okay, thank you very much, Dinesh, for joining us today to share your the success story of hSenid. I know it's been like 20 years back you tried to penetrate into Japanese market, and you had the real success journey very recently, like 5-6 years back. So we need the determination and commitment towards the Japanese market. So thank you very much once again. And
Thank you.
next, we have Kirti Kodituak with us today, the CEO of Gento Innovations and the Effective Solution. Until Keith is joining, we can invite Kogure-san again to continue with his presentation.
Okay, yeah. Then I will deliver the second presentation. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, Kogure-san.
Okay. So what presentation is actually supposed to be the last one, but is some strategies to start for you based on several criteria. The first criteria is the size of your company. Okay. But well, before doing everything, doing anything, you should do very good cost benefit analysis on the entry to Japanese market, of course. What if your company is a rather large company with enough budget? Then you can consider establishing a team for Japan market entry, so that you may send your team members to learn some Japanese or learn business culture. And if you have more more budget to spare, then you can consider opening a branch office in Japan. It may, yeah, you may think that it will be very costly, but actually, in fact, now we have many incentive programs by local government, so that sometimes you can rent an office for free for some period, for example. And there are a bunch of incentives on the Japanese side, so that it might not be that difficult as you might think. Okay, and if your company size is rather medium, small to medium size companies, then yeah, again you can first look at the incentives and promotion programs on the Japanese side. I will show you some of the examples later, but there are many programs for that. And one notable strategy is that if you have some hardware related product or IoT related product or a kind of package based software, then yeah, it will be a strategy to try some social networking marketing or so-called crowdfunding marketing. Because I just come to know that one Sri Lankan company startups are doing this, and it seems very successful. So that I will show the real examples of that company, but I'm not sure. Can you see this screen? No. No. I have to reshare the screen. Okay, so I have to choose different window. Now I think you can see the web browser. And this site is called Makuake. That is a Japanese crowdfunding website, the most famous one. And succeeded, to gather the fund from the crowd, more than 1 million yen. Okay, and as you can see here, you have to prepare some Japanese materials to put onto the website. But once you clear this translation or localization, you can try posting your product here. And if succeeded, at least you will have the first client of, in this case, 80 people, 80 person. Yeah. And in this product, they also did some SNS marketing by using the influencer, Japanese influencer. Yeah, they contacted the Japanese influencer to cover their product in the YouTube channel in Japanese, of course, because the speaker influencer is Japanese. So this is also very good strategy for today's marketing. These are very effective, actually. So that these are some of the examples that we can take to advertise your product in Japanese market. And of course, you have to have some translation, but anyway. Okay. So, can you see my? Oh, okay. Okay, and what if your company size is a startup, very small one? Then again, there are several programs in Japanese side to provide you some funds or invite you to do the pitch. Good example of the exit of the startups. Okay, and another criteria that you can think of is your international experiences. Yeah, I know that many Sri Lankan ICT companies are already have presence, having presence in Europe or United States, right? And if your company is already established some well-known presence in those countries, in fact, it is much easier to start business with Japanese companies in that country, because as you know, Japanese companies are also having European countries, so that it will be much easier to start business with those subsidiaries or offices of Japanese companies there. Then, if it succeeded, you can manufacturing related company or other big companies, you may also have the chance to expand to the country that the Japanese company has offices. So that's a very good strategy. But if your company already has some presence, but not so well known yet, then you should carefully research whether there is a room for your product or service to enter the Japanese market before you decide. Because in that case, you have to start with Japan, not starting with other countries. So that you have to carefully examine whether your product is matching with the Japanese market needs. Okay. And in case your company does not have any foreign presence and only in Sri Lanka, then again, you have to do the market research for your product in Japan. Because in this case, it's a very, it might be a rare case, but since you did not have any experience in entering other countries, Japan will be your first country to go. So yeah, that means your products should have some very specific attractive edge for Japanese people or Japanese market. Yeah. So in that case, you can proceed. Anyway, there are many information available on the net about the Japanese IT market information. For example, this is a very official information coming from the Japanese government, Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. By the way, this ministry in Japan providing many programs for ICT fields. Yeah. So one of them are the white papers they publish every year, and it has very comprehensive information about the current situation in ICT market. And this is an English translation, so that you can take a look at these official information. And yeah, if I try to recommend one website for entering Japan, JETRO has a very good website called Investing in Japan, and they have so many resources and informations about doing business in Japan, and they have also the supporting center for investment. Okay, so what I told you that there are many incentive programs in cities and prefectures, regional areas in Japan. So that I picked up some of the examples, like Fukuoka City, that is in the southern Kyushu area. Focus on the ICT fields to attract the foreign investment or a startup. Kanagawa Prefecture, it's next to Tokyo. They also have the similar program. And Aichi Prefecture is actually near the Toyota's headquarters. Yeah, so that they are trying to attract the automobile related companies from outside. Hiroshima, again, this is the center of the Mazda factory, so that they are also focused on the automotive industry and the new energy, something like that. And Kyoto is a very traditional city, but they have the program to attract the startup ecosystem, from other countries. So, and Kobe, and finally Tokyo. Tokyo is a very big city, and they actually have a very good program. So that these are just examples, but if you look at the information of these, you can find various kind of incentives and programs for your company to have presence and do business in Japan. Okay, and these are the latest trends to support starting business in Japan. Government just announced that they will ease residency rules for foreigners starting the business in Japan. As you may know, but the regulation for the immigration was very tough in Japan before, but they are now starting to ease their rules for the entrepreneurs. So that, for example, or the founder of the startup company stay up to 2 years without investment. Yeah, that's a very generous one. And this is not for ICT field, but Prime Minister also announced that for the asset management firms, they are preparing some special economic zone that you don't have to use Japanese at all. You can use English all the time, something like that. So as I explained, that the shortage of ICT engineers in Japan is so severe that Japanese government and the industry must provide many incentives to attract other industries, other countries for ICT solutions. Okay, and lastly but not least, in our project, we will soon have a call for 30 Sri Lankan ICT companies to be guided to Japanese market in this project. And I'm not sure the official date may change, but the initial plan was 13th of this February, so that EDB will have the announcement for that. And in this program, awareness building in Japanese business culture and opportunities in Japan will be provided by us, and one-on-one coaching. So we will have the session one by one, to try to prepare for the Japanese market by implementing the better marketing strategies specific to your company, something like that. And we will also try to connect you to the business network. And also, as I told you, there will be a matching session with Japanese companies. And you may have the chance to go to Japan. Yeah. So please stay tuned to our programs. That's all for my second presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kogure-san. Let's listen to Kirti Kadituak, who is the CEO of JICA Innovation and ICT Solution.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Ajra, can you hear me?
Yes, Kirti.
Yes. Okay. So it's a pleasure to talk to you all, and I'd like to share our experience. I would like to talk about a bit of detail about our company and what we are doing. And then I will move into the journey that we took through this journey, and then we'll come into the specializations. So company who spun out from University of Moratuwa, and we are a technology-focused company, mainly in the health tech businesses. So our main specializations are AI, image processing, and also signal processing. So these are the specialties that we are focusing, and through that we focus on the digital transformation of the healthcare field. So this is how we have organized our business. So throughout this journey, we have been able to get many recognition through the local system, and we managed to reach our journey in Japan. So we started our journey in 2016 with EDB delegation to Japan IT Week program. Together with SLEDB and other companies, we went as a very junior company to the Japan market because we didn't have any other presence other than Sri Lanka. So as a small team, so our only strength was the areas we focus, like I said, the AI health technologies. And that time we have been working on a product called Gendo, that is to detect the cardiovascular diseases at the early stage. But at that time, it was in a research stage. So we have been doing a lot of work to get that to the global level. And during that visit, we to find area that Japanese people are looking at, because the Japanese companies, so they, like Kogure-san said, they to deal with certain Western technologies and things because of the language barrier, not because they are lacking with any capabilities. And the other thing is, they have a huge know-how in terms of hardware. So this is the gap we saw as a Sri Lankan company. We have an advantage because Sri Lankans are culturally fitting to the Japanese companies. So therefore, we we tried to focus on the strengths that we had in research and development, and we pitched to Japanese companies to collaborate with us in terms of getting partnerships to the R&D and product development. So through that process, we managed to establish many partnerships with the Japanese companies, and with those R&D units of the companies, so we managed to reach out to the grant opportunities in Japan and also some business opportunities in Japan. So especially when it comes to the grant, we managed to develop a product to identify diabetic retinopathy by taking the fundus photograph. We partnered up with the fundus scope manufacturers, and we managed to the grants, prefecture level, and also the central government, that is committee. The METI grant also we managed to secure during this process. That is the highest level we can reach in terms of this grant process. So for that, they all work with us in very collaborative manner, and also they build a very strong relationship with them, and that was one of the key success from the innovativeness of our team. And then, like I said at the beginning, so we were working on a technology to identify cardiovascular diseases. But that technology also, we managed to secure the Japan patent rights. So that is the first ever biomedical product from Sri Lanka to secure patent rights in Japan. So that is one of the achievements we made, and we would like to share that experience with all the companies who are here and who are willing to join the program, because that kind of experience are the things that we can use to show our value and show our competitiveness in that kind of a market. Because when we have the patent rights, and also we have something tangible to show our show our capabilities. So those are things key milestones during this process. At the moment, we are doing this kind of business development work, and throughout the time, we as a company focusing on our core strengths. So that is also very important in the Japanese market. That is very specialized. So when it comes to the Japanese market, we cannot be a company who does everything. Especially when it comes to the innovation, we should identify what is the piece that we are bringing to the whole system. So then we will play a key role in process. So as a company today, what we are doing is we bring that AI expertise and also image processing, signal processing strength to those companies. To share part of the IP as well. So that is also something we can do. So I can reword it like co-creation. So we can do co-creation with Japanese companies. So this is what I can add. I hope that experience will be important for the companies who are focusing in that kind of area, and huge potential. So I wish you all the best. Hello.
Thank you very much, Keith, for sharing your journey in this market with innovation. And we have to appreciate your effort being a startup Japan came into this level, invest your company in Japan, the Niigata IT Park, and collaborate with a lot of innovation agencies in Japan. So thank you very much again. So let's move. You can raise the questions.
Oh, and I want to add one thing that before you will leave, please answer to our questionnaire because we can better prepare the next the seminar. Yeah, thank you.
First, answer the questionnaire shared by Kogure-san at the chat.
Kogure-san, I am Ghazali. I'm sorry, I'm unable to on the video. I asked a question in your personal chat. This JICA program, will you able to help us since I'm in Japan with another companies, or do you help only companies who are new to Japanese market?
Yeah, well, I cannot say now whether you can or cannot. But anyway, you please apply for the program, and we will discuss in our team and yeah, decide. Yeah, it could be
Even without program, how do I get some help? It's not financial. It's like business introduction or any guidance. Is it do I able to meet JICA personals or without even enrolling the program? Is it possible?
well, it would not be possible because well, JICA events that EDB will have during this project, and some of them you may have chance to join from the Japan side. I don't know. For example, we may have some visit to the trade shows in Japan, and at that time you can just join as a observer to our something like that would be possible, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Yoichi-san. Now,
Yes.
my name is CJ, and I have a general question that was on the back of my mind. I have worked on a few Japanese projects with companies that directly reached out, but for a startup culture, how open is Japan to a startup culture to get involved with Sri Lankan startups and work with us, or to get our services?
Oh, so your target client is also startup, you mean? Do you mean that? Or you are the startup,
Yes,
but
yeah.
your target is
I am a
general
startup.
Japanese.
Yeah, same. It goes both ways.
Oh, okay. I think that there are regular meetup of the startups in Japan for foreign companies. Like I actually read, I happened to read one Facebook articles of the Association of Sri Lankan students in Japan, something like that, that they implemented an event for startups there, so that you can try to check those events and participate them. That's one
Sure.
possible option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a place where this information is available, or throughout this program will that be made available to us, or how would it work?
First, you should visit the embassy, Sri Lankan embassy in Japan. Yeah, I mean the website. In their website, there are links to those associations of Sri Lankan people living in Japan, and they have the Facebook pages. And in those articles, they have some events. In Japan.
Thank you.
I think Hansika, you can raise your question.
Kogure-san, konnichiwa. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hi. Accurate to find any valuable leads or potential clients.
If you are accustomed and if you are familiar with SNS marketing, you can actually create an article or in Japanese to advertise your solutions and try do some digital marketing. Then it might reach the potential clients, I think, because SNS is very effective actually. I mean that the physical meetup sometimes is not so effective, compared to the SNS-based marketing, because by using SNS you can reach thousands of potential clients, immediately.
はい。わかりました。どうもありがとうございます。
You're welcome.
Thank you, Hansika. And also we got some two questions. One from Nishan, and he suggested that in developments in DX, as mentioned by Professor Kumara, whether still valid to exchange business cards, or are we going for a change with some e-solutions like e-business cards? Just suggestion for Great.
Yeah. Yes. There are some companies in Japan also using that kind of technologies for digitalized it will give the client impression that your company is very much digital oriented company, by using e-card.
And we'll be sharing today's recording link and the presentation links with all the participants. And we have another question from Lahiru.
Yes.
So you can unmute.
Okay. So my question is to Kirti, and I'm from a company called Advan Technologies. We are also doing a solution. So initially, when you approached the Japanese clients, did you go on a resource allocation approach, like staff augmentation, or it was a project-based approach?
Actually, it's a approach. not a staff-based approach to hire. So it's complete. Like I said, so what we did was we identified how we match that piece of the puzzle, right? Say what is the expertise that they look at, and how we match our expertise to that that requirement. So that is how we matched ourselves in that process. So therefore, it's a project approach. Yeah. Is that clear?
Okay, right. And also, it was kind of like a co-ownership based one as well, right?
Yeah, it's co-ownership, but in certain cases we didn't claim ownership. But in certain projects, they also, they were also happy. Companies when we build the relationship and the trust with them, so they also understand our value and how we all work together.
Yeah, and like when you consider these AI projects and stuff, so it takes a lot of time to generate accurate results. You might know.
Yes.
So, what kind of referrals did you use? Like, not as a like we also initiated 2 years back, and we don't have that much of referrals. So, in order to if you say an example for your product, what kind of referral sources did you use, and can you give a small example on that?
We had some research publications, and we had some work we did in terms of research. So therefore, they were confident about the capabilities of.
Okay, thank you so much, Kate.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. And Kogure-san, we have another question in the chat box. Any business opportunities for apparel industry, label and packaging manufacturers and garment manufacturers, sourcing companies in printing? That's IT solution for printing for apparel industry.
Oh, yeah. As far as it is IT solution and you are developing that solution, yeah, I think. But you asked that are there any opportunity in Japanese market, right? I think so. Yeah. But not for a very large company, but probably there are so many well, small to medium apparel brands in Japan, so that you can also propose and offer your solution to those rather small sized companies. Then yeah, you may have opportunity, I think.
Thank you, Kogure-san. I have the next questions. I would like to announce that we'll be publicizing the advertisement for the selection of these 30 companies in mid-March, and companies will be selecting by a panel of experts with recommendation of Japanese experts as well. So the selected companies will be guided through the next 2 years and introduced to the Japanese market. So you can browse the EDB website and refer to some advertisements. And for today's participants, special we'll be sharing the link to the advertisement and the application. Any other questions to our panel members or the EDB? Since there's no any questions, we conclude today's webinar, but stay in touch with EDB, and we have posted our mails. Team, myself and Dinesh is here. You can call us or email us for any questions regarding Japanese market or this particular program. So on behalf of the EDB, I extend my sincere gratitude to each the Sri Lanka office and the headquarters in Tokyo for providing this technical assistance for 2-year period. And also we have to specially mention the guidance and assistance provided by Ms. Yamada Tetsuya, the Chief Representative of JICA, Ms. Yukako Miyake, the Project Formulation Advisor, Miyake-san, and also Ms. Eranga Rajapaksha, Associate Officer at the JICA team. And all of you, your dedication and fostering sustainable development and collaboration between Japan and Sri Lanka is truly commendable. Thank you very much. And also I extend a special thanks to the technical support team, Mr. Yoichi Kogure, the Senior Consultant, JICA Project from Japan Development Services Company Limited, and the JDS. He's the Deputy Chief Advisor for this particular JICA expert team. And also Mr. Malik Gunasekara, the local consultant appointed from Japan, and their teams from JDS and Deloitte. It is a collaborative consultancy project. They offer their services for this JICA project. And they have worked tirelessly behind the scene to ensure the smooth execution of today's event, as well as the future assistance program for the Sri Lanka. And with their collaboration and technical support throughout the planning and execution phases of this project. Thank you very much once again. And your contribution have been instrumental in enriching our understanding of Japanese market. So last but not least, all panel members, Professor Ananda Kumara and Mr. Dinesh Saparamadu and Mr. Keerthi Kodituakku for providing very valuable insight with their experience in Japanese market for our future collaborations with the Japanese market. And also I extend my heartfelt thanks to our esteemed audience comprising members of the IT industry, the tech industry in Sri Lanka, the undergraduates who joined today, and other interested participants. Your active participation in engaging questions and valuable contributions have truly enriched today's discussion. We believe that you had a very fruitful discussion today. And also, if you need any assistance from EDBN, please feel free for your unwavering support and participation in today's webinar. Thank you very much once again, and we look forward for a future engagement and collaboration. Have a good day.